Alrighty, so in this video we're going to take this bottom half of the dodecahedron here and we're going to mirror it, rotate it, and then solidify it so that we have a completely solid object. Now the first thing we want to do is we want to create, because right now these are all individual surfaces, and for simplicity's sake and for using the solidify, they have to be one continuous surface. Now I know it doesn't look continuous, but you can tell the software that it is. If you select each surface using the control key, go ahead and do that. And now if you go over here to this icon, it says merge. So if you click on that, now see it's showing this as a pinkish color. So if you select OK, now we've created this, and if you look, and when you mouse over it, and if you go smart quilts, that's what it's called. It's now a quilt. So now when you mouse over it, it highlights the whole thing, which is exactly what we want, because we want it later on, we want it to know that it's one solid entity, not just a bunch of individual surfaces. So now the next part we want to do is we want to create a mid-plane between this vertex and this vertex so that we can have a plane to mirror this bottom half about. So to do that, we're going to insert a datum point, and we want to insert it on one of these edges. It doesn't matter which edge, just as long as it's an edge. And we're going to use the ratio option, which is simply just, it gives you the ratio from one end to the other. So we want it to be half the distance. If you put in 0.75, it would be 3/4 the distance from wherever this little black dot is here. Similarly, the real just allows you to input the length from that point, so the distance in real space. I prefer the ratio, so I'm going to stick with that, and I'll turn the points back on so you can see them. So now you can see we have this new point. So we're going to insert a new datum. Just click the new datum tool, pick the top, because we want it to be parallel to the top plane, and then use the control key and select point 0, which is our new point. So now we have that. So now what we want to do is we want to mirror this new quilt we created, and again go to the drop down and select quilts. It just makes it easier to do this. Now if you just click on that shape, click the mirror tool, and click on the datum that we just created, it shows the projection of what it's going to look like. I don't want to cancel, I'm going to click the check mark. So now we've created that. It doesn't quite look right because it's just mirrored of the bottom, and as you can see we want this point of the mirror to line up with this point of the original. So how we're going to do that is we're going to insert another datum plane. I'm going to turn the axis on so you can see, and just insert datum plane. We're going to pick this this plane again because it's in line. Again, it's just a personal preference, you don't have to do that. And middle mouse, or not middle mouse, control key, and we're going to select the axis we created. This allows us to create a datum plane at an angle. So in this case the angle we want is 18 degrees, which will allow us to rotate just enough to take it from this point to where we want. So if you select the quilt with this still selected, choose the mirror key or the mirror button, pick that point, and as you can see it's going to line it up, but it's going to keep this original. If we preview, it keeps the original, which isn't what we want. So we'll go back to play, and we're going to go to options, and we want to hide original geometry. So now if you select the check mark, as you can see, I'll turn these things off, we have a completely solid dodecahedron. With quilts again still selected, you're going to pick this half, and we're going to merge them together, and you can see it creates this nice woven pattern on the outside. So we'll accept that. Now if you click this, as you can see it highlights everything. We can go edit, and we can go solidify, select quilt or surface, which we did. You accept that. Now this is a completely solid object, and see, as you can see, quilts won't let you select anything anymore. So if you go to smart, now you can see that we have a completely solid object. And in the next video I'm going to show you how to place the holes on each one of these surfaces, as well as create a user-defined function so that you can just simply insert all the holes you want on each surface much faster than creating them all by hand.